everyone, Tjoni here again. Just wanting to share a little bit more about the symptoms and my current situation for those that are interested. So, as I mentioned in the last video, the main issue has been a sensation in response to allergens. So the sensation all over the skin has been, if you imagine putting on a suit of prickles and filling it with biting ants and having someone stick you with a whole bunch of acupuncture needles. That's been the most intense, and that's been sticking around for the 16 months. The other thing is I've got, it almost feels like cotton mouth. If I breathe in too much dust or something like that, it's like the back of the throat swells a little bit, so it feels like I've constantly got a cotton wool bud in there. One of the other sensations is having almost like crawling things throughout the eyelashes and the eyebrows and around here around the nose and mouth. That seems to be more from external allergens. So the things that affect me the most severely, definitely dust, mold, pet hair. So those three are quite strong. And if you're wondering why I'm in a tent, it's because I haven't actually really been able to stay in a house for 16 months because most internal environments just have too many allergens. So my response can start within seconds, or sometimes it takes a few minutes. For molds, within a few seconds my throat will swell. For pet hair and things like that, it can take a few minutes, but then once that biting sensation sets in, it can last for days. So it just hasn't been worth it. So I'm in a tent out the back of my brother's friend's place. This is where I am. There's a caravan next door, and this is my little office space, my computer, and outside it's a little bit windy. So this is where I've been, and I'll also post up a little video of my van, which is out the front, and that's where I sleep. So yeah, it's been a pretty crazy ride. Anyway, the other things that have affected me, there's a lot of food. So histamines I found have been a big issue. Initially I was put on antihistamines to help with the symptoms, and they did alleviate the symptoms, but even a quarter of a child's dose would just leave me so sick and zombified. I just could not do anything. So I thought, rather than take these pills to suppress the symptoms, I started researching an antihistamine diet. So that has helped, as in if I stick to that and keep myself away from allergens, I can generally keep the symptoms under control. The issue is it's very difficult to control your environment 24/7. So that has been quite a big challenge. Now, as far as what's come up, actually, sorry, just going back to the symptoms. So yeah, so that's the physical external sensations. Then there's been incredible brain fog. There's brain fog. I've got a frog in my brain. Brain fog. And apparently Lyme can cause that. It causes something like an inflammation in the brain or something like that. I'm not entirely sure on that. But also a lot of parasites and all sorts of things can cause that fogginess. So I've been quite lucid for the last 7 or 10 days and actually able to communicate quite well, but I do go through, or have gone through, periods of days or even weeks or months of barely being able to construct a sentence. That's like the pathway from the brain knowing what it wants to say, to then being able to formulate words, to then get it actually out of your face, is just too much work. And so it's made conversation very difficult. I've been doing all right the last little bit, and I think part of that is that I've been doing very high doses of vitamin C. I've also been taking a zinc picolinate, which that form you don't want to take long term because it can be tough on the stomach. If people want to know more about vitamins, actually let me know and I'll do more in-depth videos on those, because they're quite specific, and there's a lot of much better ways you can do them rather than buying tablets. So I get all mine in powder form. I've also been taking MSM. I don't even know what it stands for. I bought some from Terra Madre. It's about $10 for a big bag that will last you a year. And I know that that is very good for inflammation and detoxing. So I've been taking that every day with the vitamin C. It's good to combine them. So I feel like just that and magnesium, those ones together, taken apart. So I take MSM with vitamin C, and then later I take zinc and magnesium. You don't want to combine those two together. So I feel like that is actually having an effect, as well as the MMS that I mentioned. The other thing is just general fatigue and muscle fatigue. I find, I used to train 4 to 6 hours a day. I was physically active, running and dancing and doing circus and rehearsing and all of the things. I just couldn't stop. These days I generally get about an hour, sometimes 2, but my muscles weaken very quickly, and I especially notice that, say, riding a bike or even just walking. So that muscle fatigue is quite strong. My ability to, it's like the thermostat is a bit weird, so I don't deal with heat and cold very well, and I feel almost to the point of throwing up if I get too hot or cold, because my body's just not regulating itself properly. Nausea is an awesome one. A bunch of different headaches, and then just a whole host of weird, strange sensations that actually don't have any pathology behind them. It's like the neuro pathways or the whole neurological system, like all the way down the spine, is just a little bit, it's almost like it's short-circuiting or cross-wired or something, and so I'm having sensations that don't actually relate to anything external. So it's almost like it's all in my head. Kind of is. Now the list, this is a list of all of the things that came up from my kinesiologist and a bit more. And it looks like a big chunk of stuff, but actually most of these, or pretty much all of them, that I'm positive that the MMS is going to get onto. And with any autoimmune disorders, what can happen is, because the immune system is compromised, then there's viruses and bacteria and molds and all of the things around us all of the time. It's just part of living. But when your immune system's compromised, then those things can come in and get hold, where normally the body would actually hold those in balance. So although it looks like a lot of these bits and pieces actually, they're not as bad as they actually seem. So, and there's Ross River in there, and all of the mumps and the herpes and the chlamydia and all the fun things, and all the Bartonellas and Babesias and Borrelias. A lot of those, I don't know if I said those right even, but a lot of those are also the bacteria and so on that the ticks pass on. So yeah, a host of fun stuff. Anyway, that's it. That's my current systems. That's my current symptoms, not necessarily being able to formulate words properly. So I will continue on in a few days and let you know how that is all progressing. And feel free to subscribe if you'd like to just be updated with these videos as I put them out there. Alright, thanks for listening and have a beautiful day.